Nice having you on this particular channel. In today's video, we're going to be creating this particular dashboard you have right on your screen. Is actually project management dashboard from Skyline Constructions. So I'm going to show you how to actually get everything created and actually have exactly what you can see on the screen right now. So before we come back right here, let us take a look at the dashboard detail, all the tasks we are going to actually get ourselves involved with. If you have downloaded the resources files, you're going to actually have this particular PDF that has 3 pages. So the first page is what we're going to be dealing with today. So make sure you read through it to see how you are going to actually, tackle the data that you have. So mostly this is what I always receive from my client, and I'm going to share exactly what I used to do to actually have my project completed for you guys. So read through this and actually understand what this is all about and all of that. So as I've said earlier, we're going to be focusing on the first one, which is this one right here. Make sure you read through this particular part to understand what the dashboard or the report should actually, contain. Our focus mainly is to take the data that the company has for us and actually make sure we turn it into something like this that will make them to actually track the progress of every single project they actually have as a construction company. So we can choose different team members right here to see the progress, and we can actually select a particular year, maybe 2024, to see what is going on in this particular year. So if you look at this right now, it's actually a completed one, and this one means it's in progress, while this one means is that that's been blocked or paused. Then when you see this gray color, it means this is not yet started and all of that. So we have project detail right here that will actually give you more overview of what every single project they actually rolled out is actually doing right there. So it's something very simple, and it's something that you might be interested in creating with me from the beginning down to the advanced level. So we have the project part here being analyzed. I'm going to show you how to create everything. If you really want to actually get this created, don't worry, I'm going to show you how you can actually have everything created down to the last part of this particular dashboard. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to actually look at how we can import our data to actually start getting this created from the scratch. So see you in the class. Before we actually load our data into Power BI and start creating some analysis, let us look at the data we're going to use. So here is the data for our project. So the other cleaning we're going to do right now is right here on this particular column called progress percentage. But if you look at it, it's not actually showing up on percentage. We have it on a whole number. So which is weird. How can we convert this into a percentage? I'm going to show you 2 ways. If you have small data, you can do it inside Excel, but if you have huge data, you have to use Power Query to control it, specifically when you have 3 to 4 million rows of data that you cannot open in Excel. So let me show you the Excel version. So initially, you might be tempted to actually highlight this column, go over to this particular ribbon, click on Home, and click on Percentage. So what you're going to have is this particular huge number right here, which is not actually cool. Oh, this is actually 10,000%. That is crazy. So let us Control Z. So I'm going to actually duplicate this. Hold your Control key, you see this particular plus sign, drag this and create a duplicate right here. So I'm just going to do this one to be 2, right? So the second one. Then let us use this one for an instance to actually see how we can use Excel to change this. So to get this changed to a percentage right now, you need to type 1% here. So make sure it's exactly 1% and Ctrl C to copy. Once you have done that, highlight the column and now right click and go to paste special. So over here, we're going to use the multiply. Can you see now? Click on OK. So we now have this as a normal percentage, 50%, 100%, 15%, 0%, and all of that. So can you see it right now? It corresponds to what we have right here, but right now it's on the right percentage. So how do you know if this is a percentage? It will float to the right hand corner instead of the left hand corner as a text. Okay, this is how you can do it inside Microsoft Excel So let us import this data into Power BI, or Power Query rather, to take a look at how we can do the same thing inside Power Query. Over here we have a blank slate. There is nothing on it. Just go ahead and click on import from Excel. This is our data right here. Just go ahead and click on this and make sure it's checked, then click on transform data. All right, we have this. You can rename this over here, or you can actually have it renamed over this particular part. Let me name this one to data sets. So it's optional. You can name it whatever you like, right? So let us quickly look at the headers and make sure we have the correct data types. As you can see now, I have everything to be cool. This is cool, right? Okay. Now, if you look at this particular column here, this column here, and this column, they are blanks. But for you to ascertain if this is true, you have to go to view and make sure this column quality is being turned on. Then that will show you the validity, error, and empty. So if you have 100% empty, that means there is nothing sitting in this particular column. So from here down to here, with your shift key, you multi-select, right click to get it removed. Okay, so if you look at this one right here, I can convert this one into a percentage, and that will give me the percentage we are some kind of looking forward to seeing. This is 50.00, 100.00, which is actually correct. But when we do the same thing to this particular, what the heck is it? This particular one right here. So we have different thing because this is not actually a normal percentage from the source data. So we have huge percentage like this. All right. So we're going to take off this particular step and now have this. So there are several ways to do it, but let me show you one way I can actually get this done with ease. I can go to add column here and say from example. Then once I've done that, I'm going to actually, okay, let me show you something you need to know. So when doing this column from example, you have to make sure you select the actual column you want to affect. So here is being selected, and I'm going to go over here to this. I'm going to choose from selection. Then what I'm going to do now is I can decide to put this in view to make sure I'm looking at it. Then over here, I can type in 0% like this and hit my enter key, and that will be applicable to every part of it. So if I go ahead and click on OK, what happens? Let's see that. So now we have this particular one here showing up as a percentage. So if I just go over here and convert this to a percentage, then I'm going to have exactly what I have right here when I did convert this to a percentage. Can you see it right now? So which means there is no point in we keeping this very one here. So we're going to keep just one. Let me just go ahead and have this removed. Oh, sorry. I made a mistake to say remove duplicate. So remove column. So we need to keep just one. So let us have this one here removed. And for this one, we're going to rename this one to just progress percentage. And this is all we need to do right here. Okay, I think there is nothing more to get done here. We are 100% correct and are good to go to Power BI environment. So go ahead to home and close and apply. All right, now as you can see, we have our table here. And if we come to this particular part, we can now find the columns of the table we have actually imported in. So it's coming up, just give it some time. Okay, can you see them right here? So you can change the data types here to actually give you what you want. And it's very simple and easy. Let me collapse this, uncollapse this rather. Then come over here and select the shorter format. So if you look at it, you might face this particular difficulty in the long run. You can see we don't have any data until we scroll all the way down to this particular part before we start seeing data, which means we have some blank rows. So let us go ahead and take a look at why this is happening in Power Query. So go over to home and let's go to transform data right here. Now that we are here, we can now look at this. It's 100% valid. There is no empty. So where is that actually happening? I don't know. Let us look across. So we have empty here, which is normal. This empty should not be removed. It's okay because there are some dates that were not some kind of accounted for because those particular projects were not, yet started and stuff like that. So it's cool. So let's go over here. Let's go over here, over here, over here. Okay, which means this particular problem is not from here. We're going to go back to our Power BI environment. All right, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to come over to this particular part here. And let me do away with the blanks I have here and click on OK. That will give you something like this. Nicely done. Otherwise, if you should leave it this way with the blanks in here, so you're going to have blanks and you can't see your data until you scroll all the way down. So the only thing you can do is to make sure you deselect the blanks from here, which will not affect your data quality and stuff like that. So with this now, our data is ready and we are ready to go. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to import our custom visual in here. To get to our custom visual, you have to click over here and click on import a visual from a file. Then you can read through this and actually go ahead and import. This is what we want to actually use as a custom visual. So let's go ahead and click on open. Then pay attention to what you have here. Can you see it right now? We have a new visual inserted for us. Okay, so now that we've gotten our visual right here, it is time for us to start using this particular visual to create what we really want. I mean, to replicate what you have seen previously. The visual we just imported is this particular visual right here that tells us the progress of our projects. Can you see it right now? Blog completed, in progress, and not started. Then that depends on what year you're looking at right here. Let's go for 2024 January, and this is going to actually update automatically. And all projects that are completed will actually be in green. So the ones that are blocked will be in red, and the ones in progress will be in in green, dark and light green, and not started will be in this particular dark color right here. So I'm going to show you how to actually get everything done. If I collapse, I can see the different types of projects that we have. So warehouse, office tour, shopping complex, and residential building. Then you can actually choose to see which one you want to look at right here. All right, the very first thing you're going to do is to make sure you click over here and have this inserted here for you. So you will have this, right? Once you have this, the next thing is for you to actually make use of this particular builder part here to get it some kind of configured the way you want it. We have lots of column here. The column that should go right here should be the task, which is the legend. Your legend should go here, and that legend should be task, but we're going to leave that for later. So on that task here should actually be the task name that we have. So we're going to locate here the task name, which is this particular one, drag it into this particular part here. All right, this is what shows up right now. It's not beautiful, but don't worry, we're going to make it look very much beautiful. So we have the parent part right here, and over here we're going to do the project name. So we go for the project name right here. So it doesn't make any sense yet, but don't worry, when the start and the end date comes in, we're going to see difference. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to look for the start date and drag the start date into the start date here. Okay, it's beginning to make sense, right? Now we are looking for the end date. Can you see? So the end date will be the due date we have right here. So this time around is beginning to actually do some, magic for us. And here we go. Can you see it right now? So right away, based on the tooltip we have right here, is not really helping matter at all. So it's just giving us the date this particular project started and the day it's going to end. So over here, we have percentage of completion. On that percentage of completion, we're going to actually drag in our progress, which is this particular one right here. Can you see it now? If I now hover over it, I can now see 0.77%, which means this is not in actual percentage. So let's see what we can do. I'm trying to get okay, I think it's okay. Then it's like it's on a percentage. We have done the formatting here, so it's cool right now. As you can see, then this one here does not show any percentage. Something is going on until we drag any particular column here. So what is next is the resources. Under the resources here, what do we need to show up under the resources? We want to show the, should we call them the team members, people who oversee the projects. Then we're going to look for assign to and drag it under here. And you now see the name of the people that actually oversees each particular project right here, which is something very perfect, right? So, but right now it's not still making sense. Let us now go up. Now under the legend here, we are going to actually put a legend here, and the legend should be what will actually separate different projects to progress, blocked, and completion. That should be the task status. If I drag it up to this level, this is now given this, and we have our legend right here. But for now, it's not still making any damn sense because we're just using the default color for our, chart. So we're going to change the color here to actually match what we want, and that will be under the custom path. Okay, when I hover over it, this is what I see at default. It's giving me the resources, and over here the same thing. So if I scroll the way down here now, you can now see I have a tooltip where you can actually add more things that you want to show when people hovers over this. All right, under the tooltips, we are going to actually add two different columns. So we want to add the priority of the project. So which is this particular one over here. So when we hover over it, we see that it's high priority. This one high, this one is medium. Then this is what it is. So we have one other column we want to add here, but we have to create it with the DAX. Let us quickly go over here now. Right click and click on create new column. So we want to create the expected days for each project. You get that right now? So how many days is being actually allocated for every single project? So over here, I'm going to type in expected days. So with my equal sign here, there are things you need to understand. We have here due date, we have completion date, right? If I scroll to this end, we have the start date. So what are we going to do to get our expected date right here? So it's going to be the start date from the due date. That will give us how many days we were expected to actually have the project completed. Do you get that right now? So it's easy. What we're going to do is to actually use this particular function called dateDiff. So with the dateDiff function here, we need to actually bring in the start date, and we find the difference between the start date and the due date right here, and we are looking forward to the, I think we are looking forward to days, right? So this is optional. If you want to do it in months, you can do it in months, or you can do it in days. So let us go with this right here, and if I close and I hit my enter key, I already have a new column. So now 14 days, 24 days. If I do this now, I can scroll all the way down and I have all the days right here. Then we can go back and bring in our expected days into here. So when we now hover over here now, we can now see we have 24 days that is being expected for we to finish this particular project. All right, this is all we need to add here. So the next thing we're going to do right now, let me just make sure I provide a space at the top here for something very important. We want to actually add two different types of filters. And those filters should be one, the team members, and as well date. So for the team members, it's very easy. We can go over here and find assign to. Assigned to is our team member. We can actually turn that into a slicer like this. So let us quickly use a drop down. So we need to make sure we come over here, and over here we're going to choose the drop down version of it. So this assign to might not be well understood. we can change what we have under assign to by coming over here to change it to filter by team member. Okay, so we have this. So if I want to see a specific team member right now, I can just go ahead and filter, and that gives me this. So if you look at our slicer, it has blank. To get this particular blank off, all we can do is to click on the slicer itself, go over here to filters, and come over here and make sure you check everything and uncheck this, and that will actually give you this filter or slicer without any of that. So we have this. Before we start configuring this with the best color of our choice, the next thing we have to do is to make sure we create a simple date table that will only have like 3 to 4 columns, if I'm not mistaken. Let us quickly go here and create that simplest date table ever. So over here, I just use calendar as my table name, and over here, add column to help me add the year, the month, and as well the month number. And over here, we're using calendar auto to actually make sure we generated our date from the date columns we have right here. And those are all the columns we need. So if I hit my enter key right now, this should give us this. So quickly, I can just go ahead and sort this by this month number. You already know why I'm doing that. So by month number. And the next thing I need to do is to make sure I go to table tools and click on mark as date table. So here we go. We choose this and click on OK. Okay. The last thing we need to do now is to make sure there is a connection between this particular table to our main table. So over here, I'm going to drag this one to my start date. Can you see? Here, let's go down. We have our start date. You can drag your start date to the date table, and that creates many-to-one relationships. So we are good to go, right? Okay. Once we turn back here now, we can just get this one duplicated. Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V to paste it down. I'm going to keep this one over here. Then quickly, the next thing I'm going to do now is just for me to get this one removed. Okay, I can just go through here and have this one removed. Click over here, or you can just come to this particular part and get in the year and as well the month at the same time. So if I collapse it right now, we have this. And the blanks here should actually be something we don't keep. So let's locate where we have the blanks right in. So here we go. So we don't have any blanks anymore. So for 2025, there is no project that is being awarded on by 2025. So we only have those particular projects to extend to 2025. So keeping 2025 here is optional. If you want to take it off right now, what you can do is to come over to here and disallow it. But it's optional. You can keep it. Okay. Right away, I can just go ahead and select 2023. And everything I see right here, right now, will only be specifically for 2023, right? So it is time for you to start to actually play around with the formatting of this chart. So let's go over here. Okay, first off, let us go with our legend. And our legend is actually staying on the right-hand corner. We want to keep it top center. So here we have a top center. And we can increase the font size to make sure it's much more visible. Something like this would be cool. So it is time for we to change the color of what we are seeing right now, right here. So if I scroll down a little bit, I can see here where it says block. So this one is actually on suspension. So I'm going to use red for that. Can you see? So this is blocked. So we use red for that. The next thing I'm going to do right now is the completed right here is going to be on green. So let's just choose this particular kind of green over here, right? You can make a choice on the green you want to use. So here we go. So those ones in progress, we want to actually make sure we use green color, but not the same green color as this one. We can just make sure we change the progress one to be a bit darker. Can you see? This is what we have. Okay. This one that says not started, So we want to make sure it's actually on a dark color like this. So if you want to make it darker, you can choose something like this one here. Okay, I think this is cool. So can you see this now? This gives you much more better option to visualize what you see. But if you look at this, this is showing on a monthly level. So it's your choice. If you want to change how this shows, so you can actually alter what you see here. So let's go ahead and take this off. So data label, you can change how you want this to be on the top. So you want it to be inside. Is all your choice. Whatever you want to get to do with this one is gonna depend on what you really want to see. I just want to have this at the right hand corner. This is what I want. So if you have a day off for the project, you can turn this on, and not just turning this on that matters. You can change which of the days of the week is your day off, but I don't want to use that. I can just go ahead and turn this off, so I have something as clean as this, right? So under the general here now is gonna be this particular settings here, which is optional if you want to actually make sure you alter this. It depends on the kind of data that you actually have, so we're not going to touch this as well. So the next thing we're going to do right now is that if you look at this particular part right here, there are so many of these names that are not showing very well. So how do we actually make sure we change that? Let us go to category labels. So once we are here, we can actually change this one into the number that will actually show up very well. Let's convert this one into 10. Okay, this has little effect on this one. So let us use this one to like 190. Okay, everything shows up right now. This is great. So our chart is becoming much more better. So this one here is showing on months. So let us see how we can actually change that to whatever we like. So over here we have date type, and if I scroll all the way down here, you have this particular part that is actually week. So it's trained based on week. So we can convert this one now to day. So we're now seeing this based on days right now. So you have to scroll, and you can see there are some dates without any data. Can you see it right now? So you can decide to convert this one to just, quarter, and it will be updated accordingly based on quarter. And here you can see we have this. It depends on the view you want to actually look at. So I just prefer using month. So month works well with the kind of data I have right here. So you can choose to use month. Month will be cool for you if you want to go with month. So here is month on a monthly level. And the month we are looking at right now is January. And this is what we have right here. So if I just step out from here right now, I can decide to choose different person by updating this one. So I'm a white, and we come over here. You can select some few months. Then you see this particular, update right here. So this is what you have. So just play around with what you have right here to actually make sure it gives you exactly what you really want. So it depends. You can choose to use the year over here, and you have just 2 years here and all that. So if you want to choose the week, it's a solo choice, you can go with the week right here. So let us keep it on week right now, and you can choose to see it based on any year of your choice. So this is what it is that you need to do. The next thing is for we to actually update this particular part right here, which is something very important. So we can change the text we have here to like projects progress bar. So something very simple as this. So we're going to put this into the middle, and we want to make sure we crank it up a little bit. Okay, we have this. This is the first thing you need to actually build to see the progress of your, projects and all of that. So you must have actually understood everything we have done right here, right now. This is the first thing you need to do. So I'm going to build this particular dashboard or report 100%. But for now, let us keep it at this and see what we can do in the next video to create the remaining part of the report for you guys. So I believe this helps. So let me see what you think about this using the comment section. And as well, don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not done that. And let's just meet in the next video.